Good evening, loves. I hope you're having a fabulous night and weekend. I just wanted to drop in and say hello and speak about a trending topic that's going on and give you a great tool that you guys can use to handle this topic if it applies to your life. And the topic is, and what has been trending in the world today is the Great Resignation. Whether you've heard of it or not, it is the phenomenon where people leave their companies. They have been leaving their companies in droves lately since April of 2021, I believe. That's when the Great Resignation started happening. And studies show that no signs of it letting up or coming anytime soon, especially in the 2020 year. In fact, Disclose News just recently stated that as many as 4.5 million Americans left their job in the month of December alone. That is a lot. And what I've been seeing in my clients and the people I worked with are the reasons as follows. Well, salaries. Salaries have been low, and people have been realizing that, when they have been working maybe remotely or working in different situations, they've been realizing that their salaries haven't been increasing, or maybe that they're lower than other people are offering. So they're quitting. They might be going to other jobs that offer them more pay, or they might be just quitting in general and finding their new life purpose. So that's another reason why people leave. They realize that the corporate environment, the rat race, the competition, the corporate politics aren't really for them anymore, and they're tired of it. I don't blame them. I feel the same way. I've been there too. I've struggled so many years dealing with corporate politics until I freed myself and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be a part of it, because Bob Marley says, well, paraphrase, that you win the race when you stop running it. So corporate politics, corporate stress, that's another key reason why people are leaving. Another key reason is lack of promotion opportunities. You see, most corporations, they have a very lean structure. So when they have a lean structure, that means that you have a very decided thing to do, or you have a very decided role in the company. And basically, you have to do this thing, and you tend to get more responsibility, but not more pay, not more promotions, because there's only a set number of people and spots in that group. And the only reason why someone can be promoted is if someone leaves. And so that has been the past, how corporations worked, especially the smaller ones. That corporations, their main goal is to make a profit. And this is not always bad. This is just the lifeblood of a corporation, and it is a fact that payroll is often the most expensive cost for a corporation. So they try to keep costs low by not increasing salaries, not promoting, except for if the business is expanding and there's an opportunity to promote, then they get promoted. So that is another reason why people are leaving, and that's why people have always left in the past. It's just that this time it's different. And why is it different? It's different because people are realizing that their quality of life is really, really important to them. They have been at home and they have been worried and working with many, many different things, not just their corporate jobs. Maybe they're taking care of a loved one. Maybe they're taking care of kids and having to deal with all the closures and having to reorganize their lives. Maybe they're starting another business. There are a lot of things that people are doing right now, and corporations are not giving them any leeway to handle this. They're not giving them the flexibility. A lot of them are making them go back to the office even when they're not ready yet. And maybe it doesn't work for them to commute 2 hours every day to go to the office and waste those 2 hours where they could be relaxing, or they could be taking a hobby, or they could be doing some self-care, taking care of a pet. Maybe they take care of family members who need extra help. So a lot of these things compounded have been causing burnout in people. And that hence has been creating a lot of the flight from corporations to corporations that handle and support people who are burned out, provide a more reliable work schedule, and provide more compensation and promotion opportunities. So getting back to the burnout issue, that is the main issue going around, according to what I've seen in my clients and the people I work with. And I want to drop just one tip for you guys to think about and you guys to practice and to include in your lives that will help dramatically decrease burnout. And that is to get into a flow state. Get into a flow state. So what exactly is getting into a flow state? There's a psychologist. His name is I'm gonna wreck his name, but it's Mikhail or something like that. I know how to spell it, but not to pronounce it. It's a very, very long name. But just look up flow state, and Mikhail or that's his name. But he basically said that being in a flow state gives you energy and gives you the most productive and the most highest level thinking state that you can get into. I get into a flow state all the time. And the difference between a flow state and a normal state is the power you get from it, the glow that you get from it. When you're in a flow state, things just flow and time flies. Often when I'm interviewing people, I'm asking, when was the last time you were working on something so engrossed in it that you just forgot about time? And the answer I get from most people is like, how could you not forget about time? That is so irresponsible. Well, that just tells me that they're not in a flow state and they've never been in a flow state for some time. Because in a flow state, you are in a heightened level of awareness and emotion. You're not focusing on the five senses, the day-to-day, the details. You're focusing on the creation. You're focusing on the big picture. You're focusing on, higher level thinking, creativity. That's when you get all of your answers. And why is a flow state so important? Well, for one, if you're working at a company or if you have your own company, the flow state is extremely important to get your best ideas. I came up with this idea while I'm in a flow state. And actually, I'm just talking without any kind of script whatsoever, just flow state, just giving you information. You're in a high energy state, you're in a higher frame of mind, and your creativity just flows. Another reason a flow state is extremely important is that it gives you energy rather than takes your energy. And you'll see the difference if you're in a flow state and you do something. Or have you ever had a job, a project that you were doing and you completed it and it felt great? It actually gave you more energy and you couldn't sleep that night because you were just so proud of it. It was so creative. You went above and beyond. You thought of all of these magnificent things that you've never thought before or that nobody has thought before. And then you presented it and it was just amazing. That is the product of a flow state. It gives you energy. And have you ever been doing a project or been doing something at work where you just force yourself to do it and you just can't wait for it to end and you're looking at the clock and you're wondering, when am I going to leave? When is 5 o'clock? If you're lucky enough to leave at 5 o'clock, when is this going to end? I'm just, I really want to take a bath or I really want to go jogging and I have to do this one more thing. And have you ever realized that the work product that you put out when you're in that state is mediocre at best? It's mediocre at best because you're not accessing that higher level creative part of yourself when you're in a flow state. And if you're doing too many things like that, you get burned out. That's one of the reasons why people get burned out, because they're not accessing that flow creative part. And part of the reason why that happens is the corporate life. The corporate life is very forcing. You have to be there from 9 to 5 maybe, or whatever time period that you are. You can't just arrive when the mood strikes, right? Some people, they get into a flow state and they get into it spontaneously, or they don't want to be rushed, or they have a ritual in the morning to get into a flow state. One of my rituals is to meditate in the morning and to drink a really healthy smoothie with adaptogens and a lot of good plant medicine into it, like mushrooms. And probably this sounds crazy to you. Type in the chat if this is crazy, or do you get it? Do you get it? The mushrooms, the mucuna, The ashwagandha, the awesome herbs that just, get your nervous system calm. And when you're calm, you can really access that creative part of yourself. And when you access that creative part of yourself, you are less likely to get burnt out. And it also increases your productivity immensely because you're accessing a higher level of thinking. And another reason why it prevents burnout is it gives you the true answers that you need. See, that flow level state, I believe, comes from a connection to divine creative energy, divine, to God, to source, to universe, whatever you believe. It's an otherworldly feeling where you get all of this energy, creative output, productivity, and it gives you all the answers as well. So when you listen to it, you will realize what's truly meant for you. Maybe when you're in that flow state and you're enjoying so much of your work, you're like, this is a job for me. This is the work for me. Or maybe you're never accessing that flow state and you have to ask yourself why. And you have to ask yourself, is this the job that's meant for me? And you have to go through those hard questions, because it's only when you go through those hard questions when you get the rewards that you deserve in your life. So this video has been a lot longer than I thought, but I just wanted to share all of the details and knowledge that I have for you to cure this burnout phase in your life. If you're going through this, or if you're thinking about leaving your job, maybe this will give you an answer. Get into that flow state. Type in the comments below some things that you do to get into a flow state. I already listed mine: meditation, some things you can go exercise, yoga, do anything what you love. Type in the comments below what gets you in the flow state and when was the last time you were in a flow state. So with that, without further ado, this is the end of the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if this knowledge was helpful for you. Maybe it'll be helpful for someone else, and I wish you a very amazing, relaxing weekend. Do something great for yourself. Until next time.